Technos Japan, one of the best yet most underrated game companies of the 80s and 90s, was founded in 1981 by former Data East staff, most notably Kunio-series. In the past I made a video detailing most of Technos Japan's games, but now it's time to take a look behind the scenes. The company's flagship Kunio-series got its start with Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun, which was also the first beat-em-up, or as Japan calls it, a belt-scroller, released in 1987 and in the West as Renegade in 1988. The game was at first going to be called just Neketsu Koha, but the developers thought that the title lacked something, and since they were convinced it was going to be a hit, they added the name of their boss to it. But it wasn't completely out of the blue either, as Kunio-series had a reputation of being a pretty tough businessman and man in general, and it sort of worked. Next came Super Dodgeball, and this is where Mitsuhiro Yoshida came in. Yoshida started his career working for NMK, who made games for Jaleco. He took the application exam there to become a graphic designer, but was assigned as a planner, and the first game he worked on was Argus. In 1987 he quit NMK and was hired by Technos Japan, where he was put in charge of Super Dodgeball. Here the graphical style changed to what we're used to, as opposed to the lanky characters of the original beat-em-up. Yoshida had wanted the players in Super Dodgeball to be able to level up and get stronger, but his co-workers dissuaded him, saying that this was an arcade game, and if the players could level up, then the game might become too easy, which is not a good thing for an arcade game. That idea would however be implemented in the next project, the legendary Downtown Neketsu Monogatari, or Street Gangs, or River City Ransom. The game director job was split between Yoshida and Hiroyuki Sekimoto, the director of the Double Dragon games. Yoshida was in charge of the gameplay and Sekimoto was in charge of the scenario, the story. River City Ransom is the game that Technos is remembered for, and its popularity allowed the Kunio-series to live on to this day. But as a friendly reminder, don't forget about Downtown's special, Kunio-kun no Jidaigeki Daio Zein Shugo, which is also a great game that despite some slowdown issues, improved on River City Ransom in a number of ways. It's also the game of his career that Yoshida has the fondest memories of making, because the idea of making it a period piece, so to speak, was opposed by the rest of the team. But they made it anyway, and it turned out well. Yoshida would stay on as the director and maestro of the Kunio-series for as long as Technos Japan would keep making them. However, Technos Japan closed its doors in 1996. Despite their huge successes with Double Dragon and Kunio-kun, they didn't move on to the Super Famicom quickly enough, and they also over-focused on Kunio games, not diversifying too much. That's part of the reason for their downfall, but it was also due to some bad managerial decisions. CEO Kunio-series got a bit overconfident after their success on the Famicom. And by 1992 they had built a big tower in Nakano, Tokyo as their HQ, which ate up most of their profits up to then. The games they made by this point were also not enough to make back the losses, and by 94-95 many of the old staff had moved on to Squaresoft, including Yoshida. Now this is a fun piece of information. Yoshida spent 2 years working at Squaresoft, and during which time he would on occasion go out with co-workers to bars and kebakura or hostess clubs, and among those co-workers was a certain Hironobu Sakaguchi. After the demise of Technos Japan, the rights of the Kunio-kun or River City series went to Million, who let Atlus and Arc System Works make games, with Arc System Works going on to buy the rights from them in 2015. Meanwhile, Yoshida founded his own company called Miracle Kids, and there he would make and publish a new dodgeball game and attempt a River City Ransom 2, which, despite me mentioning it in my previous video, never got finished. Yoshida never really went away though. Even before that he was still involved with the Kunio games in some way, such as with Atlus's River City Ransom EX for the GBA. Under Arc System Works stewardship, the Kunio-series games still credit Yoshida as the creator, which I think is very respectful. But today he's no longer working on the games directly. The Kunio-kun or River City series will probably always be niche games, and Yoshida may not be as respected a creator as Miyamoto, Sakaguchi or Kojima, but he certainly did his bit to influence the game industry. River City Ransom showed that beat-em-ups could be more than just moving to the right and punching people, bringing a larger sense of interactivity, cohesion and open-endedness. The latest game in the series, River City Girls, was in no uncertain terms inspired by Shin Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun Tachi no Banka, and Double Dragon is still getting games, so the legacy of Technos Japan still lives on.